Hi, welcome back to All the Above. Thank you as always for being here, joining me, and for your beautiful heart and light and presence here. Okay, so wow, it's been about a month since I was in France for my Mary Magdalene pilgrimage. And this is my second time recording an episode on this because there's so much. The first I recorded, and there were things that I kind of felt like were a little bit maybe too sacred to share, or it felt like there's just so much. It's hard to go through all of it in a way that honors the sacredness of the experience. So I'm trying again here and trying to share the messages and what I experienced in a way that feels most authentic and what is meant to be shared. So that is my intention, that what I share here will be of the highest good for the collective, for anyone tuning in, meant to find this, listen to this, and really be in my truth, and while also honoring the sacredness of the journey and what is meant to stay in my heart or to be shared in a different setting, way, place. So thank you for that intention. And yes, I know that will be carried through. So, okay, yes, I am a month out from my pilgrimage. A little less than a month, like a month ago, I was there in France, and truly life-changing. So beautiful, so divine, divinely led. Every moment, every soul on the journey with me, everyone we encountered, every place was just truly magical and holy. And this took me so deep into my heart and my truth. And it was deeply healing, deeply activating, deeply awakening, and into my remembrance of my truth, my place on this path of the rose, this path of walking the Magdalene path. And what does that mean? I think ultimately it is this path of love, of the heart, of following our truth, living in full alignment and authenticity. And something that really powerfully came through for me was, I feel I've been so devoted to Magdalene, to the connection with her, and feel that connection so deeply. But also this realization that Magdalene is sharing these teachings of her beloved, of Yeshua, of Christ, of God. And she's the feminine version aspect of him, and her teachings are the same, and all leading us to deeper connection to God, to the good, to this path of the heart of love, the sacred heart of remembrance, of truth, of connection to this divinity. And a phrase that I heard that keeps coming to my mind: fully human, fully divine. We are, as Magdalene and Christ were, fully human in these bodies, these vessels, these temples of life, but we are also fully divine, connected to source, connected to God. And we are all aspects of one another, all in union. They are as much a part of us as we are a part of them. And each one of us, truly, we are all so interwoven and interconnected. So that may have been my most profound realization there. But it was just so activating for me too. Each of these sites and locations, so deeply activating. You're in places where she has walked, and all of this, again, a lot of it, there's not physical proof, evidence, but you feel the energy there. You feel the pilgrims, the souls who have come before you, who have been there with their full open hearts of love, of presence, of devotion, of connection to walking the same path. And it's so powerful and beautiful. Each location for me really was such a deep activation and a remembrance of this, and to truly become one with with that essence, that union, that we are all walking the same path in our own ways, whether you are on pilgrimage or not. We are all on this journey of coming back to love, of what we're here to do and remember and share. And yeah, it's funny because explaining it to people, it's like certain people who didn't maybe know or understand fully. It's like this was just not a vacation. Like this was not like that. It was a true pilgrimage of the soul, of the heart, of coming back to really my truth. And yeah, really every moment was divinely guided. Every soul, every conversation, every footstep, every breath. It was truly exactly what it was meant to be. And I'm so deeply grateful that I was able to walk this journey, this path. And I had these deep feelings that I will be back there again. In certain places, I felt and was like hearing audibly, like you've been here before. It felt very much like this deep soul experience and reclamation of my truth and my path. And it's really more than I can explain. I really did go into it thinking like, oh, I'll come and record so many episodes about each place and like all of this after. And there's so much to say, but also so little to say that can truly express the journey for me. So yeah, I will share little bits, and it's been coming through deeply in channelings, in meditations that I've been recording. I've been just feeling so much inspiration with that. So there is going to be more coming on that front, maybe shared in a different space, but I've just had so much coming through. So the timing has been beautiful too, because I'm in the novena leading up to Magdalene's feast day on July 22nd. So all of this feels so beautiful, so divine. And yeah, I also want to share a little bit about the journey, the places. Each one just carried this sacred thread to Magdalene, to the path of love, to God truly. And there were mysteries imbued in these sacred places in these lands. And it was a true journey. It was physical at times of finding the spaces, making our way there, deeply emotional. It felt like rebirth at times. It felt like bliss and ecstasy at times, and just pure being in like a portal to the divine. It felt like other dimensions, other realms, and just also this path of beauty in these incredibly beautiful spaces. I feel the most activating for me, well, I guess there were a few places, but I think going to the cave that she spent the last 30 something years of her life was just pure beauty and communion and connection with her. I feel like I was guided on the journey up there. And I spoke about this a bit, but I kind of went ahead from my group, and I felt this voice of Magdalene, this trust in yourself, to trust yourself to walk the path ahead, even if you're on your own. And I did that, even though at times I questioned myself and I thought maybe I should go back and see if my group's going this way, if I'm going the right way. And then I did come to that point of self-trust and made it to the top. And it was so beautiful. And there were just so many synchronicities too, and just things that I saw that were like, they felt like divine signs for me. Just being in the frequency where she is said to have lived, where pilgrims come, people come to worship her and pray for her and sing for her. And I could have stayed there. Like, I want to go back there. If I could go there every day, I would. And then another place that was really activating was the Grotte Uf, the Cave of Eggs, Yoni Cave, which is a real journey to get to find. It's not really marked on how to get there. It's very difficult. So it's not really like recommended, or there's not like a trail or anything that's like, go this way, here you go. It's funny, I tried to use all trails to record the path, and it worked all the way through to the first cave, and then it totally stopped working, leading to the Yoni cave. So just thought that was interesting. And the journey there was so divinely led. We had someone who literally guided us there that we met. Um, yeah, yeah. And still was difficult though. Still, we kind of took some wrong turns. It took a lot longer than we maybe thought. Challenging. You're like really climbing on rocks, and then you get to the cave, and it's intense. It's like a real descent, holding onto a rope, and even if you're physically active and strong, you're still. It's like whoa, like it feels intense, and fully dark when you're in there. You need like headlamps, and in there, that energy was so powerful for me. So it's like coming off of this bliss energy of her cave, and then going into this place where she's said to have gone into deep communion and connection with the divine, with God and Yeshua. And I mean, for me, I felt like I just needed to like lie down in the earth there beneath her altar. And we did a ceremony, and I was just like, oof, like such physical activations there, spiritual activations, all of it. I mean, I truly, I think I cried in every single one of the sacred spaces we went to, and every day of the pilgrimage, whether they were tears of joy and bliss or tears of release and surrender and realization. And this was a place of rebirth for me, and it felt like you're really being reborn. You're going into the heart of Mother Earth, and yeah, and it's like, how can we do this every day? How can we let ourselves be reborn in our lives into deeper truth, into who we really are here to be? So that was profoundly activating. And then more divine guidance and support, aligned soul messages came to me that day in the most beautiful session and way. And yeah, it was just all like exactly what my soul needed. Everything was exactly what my soul needed. And I think that's this beauty of pilgrimage, whether it's easy, whether it ends up being joyous and like you're skipping through fields, or you are on your knees, surrendering, realizing deep, profound truths. It's exactly what you need. So yeah. And I do really believe we can do this work in these pilgrimages in the room you're in now. I think we can all go deep within if you're not able to go. And every day is a pilgrimage. I really believe every moment, every day, we're on this pilgrimage of life. That was something that really kept coming back to me, that we are, again, fully human and fully divine. And Magdalene, Yeshua, they lived as humans. They walked this. They had to also go through these awakenings, these initiations, going through the mystery schools. And if you're on this path, that's what you're doing too. Maybe if you're not aware of it, but life is this mystery school. We are all in this mystery school of life, experiencing initiation every day. Every day is a choice to either go deeper into our hearts and the path of truth and love and light, or to decide differently, but all coming back to that same truth. We're all being initiated, I think, whether we realize it or not, as we walk through life. So yeah, that was deeply intense and beautiful. And carrying on, going to Sainte Marie de la Mer, where they're said to have landed when they first came to France, seeing Sarah La Callie, her church and statue, which is said to be the daughter of Magdalene and Yeshua. And then there's also Sarah La Callie that said to have welcomed them to the land. So there's also a lot on pilgrimage where it's deciding your truth and seeing what feels resonant in your heart, and knowing we don't know. A lot of these are not facts we can physically confirm, again, And it's about having your own experience of this. And even all of these teachings, in any way you're studying them, it is, what is your experience as you read the texts, as you meditate, as you connect and go within to your heart, and what feels true to you. So I think that's something with each day, each moment. How do we see life? How do we interpret? How do we experience and come back to our own gnosis, our own truth? I think the gnosis is a big piece of this path as well, and our own connection to the divine. And this is without a church, without someone telling us how we should interpret or receive or feel or know. It's our own connection, and we all can connect to the divine within. Okay, so then we carried on and went to such beautiful, magical lands, Rennes-le-Chateau, Galamu, just these incredibly beautiful places, baptismal waters. Again, it's all so much that I'm not going to be sharing every single detail. This is sort of just a broader overview of pilgrimage. Montsegur, just every place was incredibly beautiful. We hiked to Montsegur on solstice, so we climbed as it was dark and arrived as the sun was just, the first light of solstice was casting out, and did a beautiful ceremony there. And all of us using our voices, our sound, our soul songs coming forth. And I have chills just thinking about it, and the beauty of the voice. And that was something that we used quite a bit throughout. But activating, awakening these codes within us through our own voice. And we can do this here. We can do this now. We can come back to this just sitting, just taking a moment to tone, to let your voice come through in however feels of your highest truth and love. So it's like bringing the holy to every day, bringing the magic, the essence that exists all around us, finding that, bringing that into each day. That's something I'm really carrying forward with me as I let myself be the temple, the altar, and return to my altar here beside me, and return to that in my heart. We are the altar, leading us to our highest light and love and all that is. Okay, and the story of the Cathars who carried on Magdalene and Yeshua's teachings, and they were in Mount Segur. The story is so beautiful. I really recommend looking into this if you're not aware, but they were basically prosecuted, said to renounce their beliefs, and they refused. And the Romans then were there at the bottom of the mountain of Mount Segur, and they all walked down the mountain, the Cathars, singing hand in hand, singing, and they walked into the fire instead of renouncing their beliefs. Hundreds of them, and you feel that when you're there, but you also feel like it's been a joyous place, a place of love, a place of teachings of the divine. And how can we be this devoted to our knowing, our truth, our own gnosis, our own love, what we know to be true? That is just so profound to me. I just chills every time I think about them or listen to their music. How can we be that devoted? How can we live in that pure truth where we will walk into the fire for what we know in our hearts, what we feel to be true? And even if we're maybe not as brave to do that right now, know that we are guided, know that it's okay, and to trust as we step forward into our own fires, as we move through. And just holding that story in your heart, how can you be that devoted to love, to what you know to be true, and to your soul, and to the divine, to God, to this path? That is something that I really am carrying forward, and where I might not be strong enough or brave enough to live in full alignment or speak my truth in times, knowing I am working my way there. And the baptismal waters that we experienced, that was really profound. It did feel like a baptism in those waters. And it was the beauty of nature there too. The beauty of these spaces, the love there, the holiness there imbued in the water and the frequency in the land. And just so magical and so magical. And how can we, in each day, baptize ourselves in the shower and the water we drink? How can we bless everything that we do and letting our lives be a living depiction of this, purifying ourselves and making all that we touch, all that we breathe and imbue holy, truly. And this is the practice to be living this way in each moment. Okay, and then another lesson, let's see, coming through. Isis has been really strongly coming through for me as I felt a deep call to the mystery schools, the teachings, these sacred lands. And it's funny, I look back and I see the signs. There's an episode I did a while ago where the featured image, I'm kind of holding a tarot card that I pulled, an oracle card, and it's Isis. And I realized that recently since returning. But there is a throne of Isis there that we went to. And yeah, I had a dream about Isis while I was there as well. Just a lot coming through where I haven't really studied her teachings or felt much of a connection with her, but clearly I have. And yeah, so hiking up to the throne, I had this was towards the end of our trip. I think this was the last day. And I felt the beauty of everything that had been experienced. And there's so much more. This is just me kind of going into lessons, moments that I've really taken with me that I feel called to share. And so ascending this cliff up, and it's not really a cliff, just a little walk, but ascending, I felt this divine peace. I felt in such reverence for the journey that I had undergone, been on, was still experiencing the presence of the divinity of this gnosis, of connection. And as we walked up, I really felt like I was walking with versions of myself beside me. I felt my inner child. I felt her on my left. I felt I was holding her hand. And then I felt my higher self on my right holding my hand. And it felt then that all of the divine feminine guides, ascended masters, beings were walking beside me. It felt so divinely led, so peaceful, so integrated. Like I felt like all pieces of me were here coming into my heart, into union. It felt like sacred internal union with my heart and my soul. And it felt so holy. We had a really beautiful guided experience there. And sitting in the throne, which is this natural rock throne there, where it said many, I think 7, I could be wrong, ley lines all intersect there. So it's an extremely powerful energy, kind of a vortex, I'd say. And we each sat in the chair, the throne, and I had an extremely powerful, what I'd call an initiation, an activation, a release of so much, where I was just, there's so many things that we hold in. For how long? How long do we hold things into our soul, our hearts, push it down? How do we run away from it, turn away from it, try not to admit to ourselves truth that we've known? There's so much of that we just want to keep quiet, that we would rather maybe not address, not face. And I think that all that I had been holding in, I think it all just came to the surface. And I didn't really even know what I was deeply releasing there. Physical activations, emotional expressions in a very intense, deep way. It all just came to light there. And I was supported by such incredibly beautiful souls and guides there. in the physical, but the spiritual realm as well. And it felt like a new portal to who I really am. It felt like an initiation from Isis. Perhaps my wings were being activated, awakened, but this incredibly deep release of, I think, everything that I've been holding for so long and maybe have been aware of, but haven't been able to fully release. And yes, then traveled on from there to Rennes-le-Château, where can't even explain the magic of that experience, where we had the blessing of being so close to Magdalene. It's emotional. It is very emotional. It's just a gift, just truly the biggest blessing to be in such close proximity to her lineage, to her frequency, and knowing we can come into this anywhere that we are. We can call her in. She walks with us. She guides us. She is here in our souls, our hearts, our minds, and truly imbued in our sacredness, our perhaps in our wombs as women, in the Magdalene codes, in our hearts, in all that we do. So there is so much more that I can say. But again, this is just my kind of initial reflection and what's on my heart. And I am still in deep integration of all of this. I thought I would just come back and be like, boop, boop, I'm ready, I'm here. But no, it's been deep, deep integration work. Not work, just allowing it to be where I've needed space. I've needed a lot more time to come into communion in my morning practice, in my channeling and writing and processing, in all that I do, really. And I do feel like I've really been initiated onto this path on a deeper level. The teachings have come in much more fully, a lot more realizations, a realization I'm meant to share these teachings in a deeper way, and that I'm ready for that, and a deep activation of my heart and my gnosis, and just so beautiful, so much beauty on this path. And I am just so infinitely grateful to finding my way to this path. I think there's a version of me that she didn't find her way here. I think there's a version of all of us that maybe didn't find our way. And I am in just sheer, utter gratitude, reverence, devotion to this way of being. And, I think we all find our way in our own time, but I feel so profoundly grateful to have found it in the timing that I have. I'm so grateful to my guides on this path, each soul that walked alongside this journey with me. And I did this pilgrimage with Shahara Barnes. I highly recommend. There were so many beautiful souls there with us. Everywhere that we stayed, visited, it was just divinely held and led in the most beautiful way. And to all of the beautiful souls there, yes, that I met, that we encountered, that journeyed together. I love all of you, and I'm so grateful for you all, and just profound gratitude for Magdalene and Yeshua and all of the energies there, the land, so much gratitude for the land in these spaces, and southern France. I truly dream of returning there and maybe spending a lot more time there and walking this path again and again and again, but also just knowing that I walk this path every day. We walk this path together every day, and we're on the greatest pilgrimage of all in our lives, and seeing that in each day and making each day an embodiment of that, and embodying this true beauty of being human here on earth and the beauty of being connected to the divine and awakening that within us and seeing that, acknowledging that within every single being, seeing the beauty in all, the light in all, the love in all, and coming back to that again and again and again, and letting our lives again be a living pilgrimage of devotion to our truth, our light, where our soul is calling us to go, to bringing forth our soul gifts, bringing forth more love to this world, and living in this alignment. Oh, thank you for journeying here with me. Thank you for being on this path. And I'm so grateful. I am sending you infinite love and light. And I have recorded a lot of meditations and journeys, all connected to this journey, bringing forth these energies from the land, these spaces. And I'm just figuring out the best way to share them. So stay tuned for that and for more to come. And I'm also wanting to share that I am really stepping into offering my soul gifts a bit more, and offering channeling sessions, offering Akashic record readings, and energy healing sessions. I've had my website for a while, and I think I have not really felt in full trust of stepping into the gifts and to sharing, but I'm here. I would love to support you, and I'm just so grateful. Okay. All my love and light, and sending this energy of the Magdalene codes, the sacred lands of southern France, and the truth, coming back into the essence of truth and love in each moment, the Magdalene path to you now. May you have the most blessed, beautiful day and lifetime and pilgrimage through your own life. Okay. I love you. So grateful for you. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like to talk about the path of the rose, the Magdalene path. Okay. Thank you. I love you. See you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of All the Above. I hope you found some wisdom, insights, remembrances within yourself, and I hope you remember how beautiful and divine you are, and that you have so much to offer and bring to this world, and your gifts are so needed. You're so needed exactly as you are. And with that, if I haven't said it yet, I want to send you so much love and light. And thank you so, so much for being here. I hope you have the most magical day, and I will see you soon. Bye.